Hey guys, welcome back to another video. Today we have a my Gouki deck. Lots of people when they search up Gouki deck 2020, they came to my old video, which is absolutely terrible. It was before Dragoon was released, before Rusty was unbanned. I think it was even before Firefly Lady came up, which is just shows to go how bad that deck really was. So I'm just going to be updating that deck right here, fitting into the new Gouki decks are just coming up. Very consistent and can put some very disgusting end boards. So we start off with just one copy of Red Eyes Fusion, one copy of Red Eyes Black Dragon, one copy of your Dark Magician. This should be pretty self-explanatory. It's for your Dragoon. If it is a 42 card deck, the reason why I made a 42 card specifically is because all of these cards are bricks. If you want, you can even call these equip spell bricks. I wouldn't go as far as that because those equip spells actually do have lots of value. So I wouldn't really call them bricks necessarily. And these are kind of bricks. I think you could call Ancient Cloak and Red Eyes Fusion garnets at that degree. It's just, if you really want to reduce on the number of bricks or garnets, you can maybe take out the Red Eyes Dark Dragoon package, and then like put a Union Carrier in your extra deck and a Buster Lock, and Buster Blader Destruction Sword. I don't know what you call it, a Dragon Buster Destruction Sword. You can put that in for your Buster Lock, and well, the main reason why I don't have it here is because the Dragoon is really the only Omni negate this deck can put up. If you get Lightning Stormed, then you are dead. You can't do anything about that, because if you get Lightning Storm, you're dead. And since through Lightning Storm, if you use Buster Lock, you do still you'll have to equip it to your Rusty, and your end board does just consist of only Link monsters, except say the Abyss Dweller. So that's one of the main reasons why I did opt to go for Dark Dragoon instead. If you don't use Dark Dragoon, then you'll probably die to cards like Imperm, Chalice. You'll just lose 4 negates like that off your Appaloosa. I will be showcasing the combo tutorial at the end in case you don't know it. Well, that's one of the main reasons why I wanted to go for Dragoon, because it's the only way this deck can really put up an Omni negate. So next we run our Finite Engine. This should also be pretty self-explanatory. One thing to keep note of, I run 3 traps instead of 2. The main reason why I'm running 2 Fogblade instead of 1, even though you are only going to be setting 2 traps off your Rusty Bardiche, is because Fogblade not only does it kind of ensure that you do have a couple other copies of traps in your deck. Fogblade is not a bad card to draw at all. Even if you're just running 2 traps, you are still pretty. It's pretty isn't too difficult to draw some traps. So running 3 traps, it's not bad at all. Fogblade is an excellent card, and getting to set 2 Fogblade is basically just adding 2 more negates, which is just really nice. 3 copies of your, well, now we're going into Gooki Engine, 3 copies of Gouki Super X, Gouki, 2 copies of Twist Cobra, 2 copies of Headback, 2 copies of Guts, 2 copies of Octostretch, and 2 copies of Rematch. Yep, those are a lot of 2 copies of, and I'll go through them one by one. First off, the 3 copies of Gouki Super X. This is the only real good Gouki extender in terms of monsters, because this combo needs any Gouki monster plus any of your warrior extenders. So that's the main reason why we run 3. Next, 2 Twist Cobra. One of the main factors into playing Twist Cobra is that it's it actually is super good going second. A lot of people do overlook this. Its main effect. But its effect has actually won me several games, just because I was able to put enough damage on board thanks to Twist Cobra specifically. But in other words, it's just really, it can just act as an extra level, since it's a level 3 and Gouki Rematch needs to reborn monsters with different levels specifically. Twist Cobra can come in handy there too, so that's maybe why I run 2 of him. 2 Headbat. I know this is the only Gouki you do not want to draw at all, but Headbat, the main reason why I run 2 is that not only is it a Gouki name and you want to just draw into your Goukis as often as possible, it's also just, Headbat isn't the one you want to draw if you don't have any extra extenders. If you have 2 extenders, which is pretty easy in this deck, seeing that we run like 11 extenders, It's not too difficult to draw into your head. It's not difficult to do combo even if you draw your head back. Next we run 2 copies of Gouki Guts and 2 copies of Octostretch. They're both level 1, so that's the main reason one matters. Guts is definitely the worst one. All it has going for it is that its main effect is all defense position monsters. Not all. This defense position monster can be destroyed by battle. That's really all it has, really. It's not that great. Octostretch can kind of half damage, which is relevant, but the main reason for running the level 1s is because you're going to be summoning them off Isolde. Since you're only dumping one equip spell, it kind of reduces the amount of bricks you have to play for it, and it gets you a Gouki from the deck for something like a headbat. So that's the main reason for running the level 1s. 2 cups of Rematch. The main reason why I run 2 is some people play 3. Play 3 is a big mistake. You should never play 3. What Rematch does is it can just reward 2 Goukis, and usually you're just going to be searching it. It also helps you get follow-up. It can help you play through Nibiru. It helps you at least end on a Dragoon if you get nibbed, which is very good. And the main reason for running 2 is that the game is realistically only going to last like 4 turns maximum. So 2 Rematch is just pretty good. If you're up against a very grindy deck, then you could put in the 3rd Rematch in your side deck if you want, although that doesn't seem to be a very good idea. But that's kind of our Gooki engine. For our next Warrior Extender engine, we run 2 copies of Blue Mountain Butterspy, probably one of the best extenders. It's just so good. It can sometimes chain block your Gouki Super X from effect, so that is nice. And 2 copies of it, mainly because it's more of a dead card if you do draw it than your other Warrior Extenders, since it can be normal summoned or set. So that's the main reason why I'm running 2 of it. 2 copies of Junk Forward, technically 3 if you count the Hornet Drones as 1 copy of it. But Junk Forward is just really nice. If you control no monsters, you can just summon it for free. The main reason why I played this over your Super Quantum Red Layer is because Red Layer, you're not going to really tribute summon a Red Layer, are you? Junk Forward is just kind of better since it can be normal summoned or set. So if you're up against like a grindy game, then you're able to just normal summon it for free in order to go into an extra Isolde. So that's kind of really what matters. 3 copies of Firefly Lady, the best Warrior Extender by far. Not only can it just summon itself for free, it also has a chance of summoning another Gouki from your hand. And a lot of people overlook how important getting another Gouki out of your hand is, just because it gets you an extra search for a follow-up, helps you chain block better. It just does so much for your Gouki plays. It's insane. Firefly Lady, definitely 3 of you can't really run less of it. We're technically running 4 copies of it, since we're also running the 1 Durandal, 1 copy of Rhoda. All your monsters, most of your monsters at least, are warriors, so you can just search anything with Rhoda, your extender, your Gouki, anything. 1 copy of your Hornet Drones. This is just for a free summon. A cool thing I find about Hornet Drones is that you can even summon it if you have the Isolde on field, since you technically don't have anything in your main monster zone. So Hornet Drones definitely has to be there. Next we have some miscellaneous one-ofs. 1 copy of Codebreaker 0 Day. 0 Day is 0 Day. You just use it for your Codebreaker engine, getting 6 link material on your field, just off 2 cards, just off 2 monsters. We run equips, 1 DDR, 1 Divine Sword Phoenix Blade, and 1 Durandal. The main reason for this package, DDR I find is actually better than Living Fossil, since it's able to get cards back in the graveyard, which can be useful. It's an extender, and getting cards back in your graveyard can be pretty useful if you're looking to use a rematch again on your next turn. So DDR is kind of essential with the 1 Phoenix Blade. DDR has saved my butt a couple of times, so that's something to keep note of. 1 Durandal, so we're running 3 equip spells, even though we only need 1 for our level 1 Octostretch. But the reason I run 3 is because all of them just have so much value. I'm running 3. 1 copy of your Cowboy Grave, this is just for hand traps. 1 copy of Midbreaker Field, also for hand traps. And finally our hand traps, the hand traps of our own. 3 copies of Ash Blossom and 3 copies of Effect Wheeler. So all of these are 6 hand traps. They can really be any utility cards, Forbidden Droplets, Dark Ruler, Triple Tactics. It can be anything you want. I just chose these 6. If in case you're wondering why I went for Veiler over Imperm, is because Imperm, if you resolve it, you cannot activate Shadebringing in the turn it's set. So that's one of the main factors I didn't run Imperm specifically. So that's our main deck. For extra deck, we run 1 copy of your Red Eyes Dark Dragoon. Red Eyes Dark Dragoon is the only real Omni negate we can put up in this deck. That's why I value it so much. On top of that, it can be destroyed by card effects, or it can be targeted. On top of being able to inflict damage, and getting a discard for it is super easy since you run the Phoenix Blade too, and you're usually able to end your turn with 6 to 7 cards in your hand, including Phoenix Blade, which is just absolutely absurd. 1 copy of your Abyss Dweller. Abyss Dweller, you can easily make it in the combo that I will showcase in a moment. 1 copy of your Access Code Talker. Access Code Talker is really good just for going second, and this deck can super easily make access code. It's able to usually make it with 2 to 3 different attributes, being able to have spell speed for pops on top of having a 5300 body. It's not something to laugh at all. 1 copy of Appaloosa. This can usually represent 3 to 4 negates by itself. 1 copy of your Codebreaker Virus Berserker. Virus Berserker is kind of a necessity just for your Codebreaker engine. 1 copy of your Nightmare Unicorn, 1 copy of Phoenix. As I said, they're really just utility cards, the Unicorn and Phoenix. They can be anything you like. I just use them for spot removal. 1 copy of your Rusty Bardiche. It's able to get 2 negates and an extender on the field, so that's absolutely absurd. I still think this should stay on the ban section just because how powerful and how potent it can be. So 1 Rusty, you have to kind of abuse it, especially with your Codebreaker engine. Most of our cards are kind of Earth Warriors, but the Codebreaker engine are able to turn any 2 monsters, effect monsters, anything, any attribute, any type, into 6 link material, and that to their dark link material for Rusty specifically. As Codebreaker Virus Swordsman, this is the starter of them all. When it's summoned, you can summon a 0 day from your deck, which can help you go into Virus Berserker, which can summon 2 other Codebreakers. On top of that, Virus Berserker, if you're going second and your opponent for some reason has like 3 set back row, Virus Berserker has the ability to destroy 3 set back row. So in case you have a mid breaker that you don't want your opponent to take advantage of, you can pop that too, which is, it sometimes really comes in clutch just because mid breaker doesn't stop your opponent's cards from being destroyed. So Codebreaker, Virus Berserker, and Swordsman, that's for that. 2 copies of the Soul. The main reason why I run 2 is that we run enough extenders to maybe draw 1 or 2. So if your opponent does maybe Imperm Isolde on its first effect, you can use extenders to go into second Isolde, and if you hopefully have like a second Gouki or something in hand, then you can just use Isolde once again. So that's something nice about having 2 Isolde. 1 copy of IP Masquerena. This is mainly for the grind game. If you just want to get more disruptions, you can just go into Unicorn, and going into Unicorn specifically, IP Masquerena can do it through Nibiru, so that's nice. If you've already used your Verte Anaconda, that's something you keep note of. 1 copy of Linkross and 1 copy of Linkuriboh. You're always able to get Linkuriboh on the field, which is the main reason why we run the level 1 Gouki. And you're going to Linkross to summon tokens, and that tokens can bring back the Linkuriboh back. So I use those 2 monsters to go into Verte Anaconda in the future. So that's the deck, I guess. I hope you enjoyed it. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and I guess I'll show the combo tutorial now. So right here I'm just going to be showcasing the main combo. You just need any Gouki monster plus a warrior extender. If you drew Gouki Headbat, then you'll need 2 extenders, which is completely doable. So we're going to go ahead, activate the Blue Mountain Butterspy. We're going to summon some stuff, and now you will be linking into the Isolde. I just like the chain block against Isolde, just since cards like Gamma and Ogre are so prevalent in the current format, so that's nice. We're going to be getting a search for our Gouki headbat off our guts, and now we'll be searching. Since we have the level 1 monster in graveyard, I'll just search a level 3 monster, even though we're going to get 2 level 1 in the field. I just like to regulate my levels. We're going to go ahead, activate the effect of our Lilith Soul, and we're going to be dumping Divine Sword Phoenix Blade in order to summon the level 1 Gouki Stretch. Now we're going to activate our headbat. Since we control Gouki, we can send one other Gouki from our hand to the graveyard in order to summon itself. And now we can, if this is our 5th summon by the way, if our opponent does not Nibiru us here, they will never get a chance ever again, since we are going to be going into the Appaloosa. If your opponent summons a monster and you know that they can go into an Appaloosa from there, just Nibiru as fast as possible. Now we're going to go ahead, activate our Stretch and headbat. Doesn't really matter what level, what order you do it in. I recommend just doing the headbat first. I was kind of dazed out, so I did the Stretch first, but I just like to search two copies of Rematch, since the 2 copies of Rematch, one is really just for follow-up. Now we're going to go ahead, summon some cards from our graveyard, and here is a part that a lot of people forget, but it is important to turn that Stretch into a Link Rebo. You don't know, I've lost so many games because I forgot to turn it into a Link Rebo. It's really important to turn it into Link Rebo. So we're going to go ahead and summon Virus Swordsman. This will let us summon a copy of Zero Day. And now since we have a Link 2 and a Link 1, including a Codebreaker monster, we can go into Codebreaker Virus Berserker. Now, if your opponent has back row right here, Virus Berserker has the ability to destroy up to 3 monsters, which is really good. We will not be summoning monsters to our opponent's field, thank you. And no, we're not going to be summoning any monsters, so we're going to go ahead and get these monsters on field. Now the reason why we made a Link Rebo will be clear here, because we're going to go into Link Cross. Link Cross will go ahead and use its effect, summoning 1 or 2 tokens. I would like to go into 2, since it helps us get a Link Rebo on our own opponent's turn too. So we're going to go into Link that stuff. You're going to generate tokens. Now we're going to activate the Link Rebo, tributing 1 token. And since Link Rebo is a dark monster, you can use it to go into the Rusty Bardiche. Rusty Bardiche, of course, being one of the most powerful cards ever. We're going to go into Rusty. Rusty will trigger. We will be dumping the 1 copy of Ancient Cloak in order to set a copy of Shade Brigandine. We're going to go ahead, activate the Shade Brigandine, which will be summoning itself as a level 4 monster, meaning we can go into the Abyss Dweller, since the Codebreaker 0 Day is also a level 4 monster. Now we can go ahead, activate the Ancient Cloak in our graveyard. It can search a free extender, which is just super good. And now we'll be summoning this extender that we just added to our hand. And since we have 2 effect monsters, we can finally go into the copy of Verte Anaconda. So that's kind of our main combo. We're going to activate Verte Anaconda finally to copy the Red Eyes Fusion that is in our deck right now. And then we'll be fusing together the 1 copy of Dark Magician and Red Eyes Black Dragon to go into Red Eyes Dark Dragoon. And just to maintain hand size, we're going to activate the Divine Sword Phoenix Blade. I just like to banish the 2nd level 1 I have in my graveyard, Gouki Guts, plus the extender. So that's nice, and we get back the Phoenix Blade as a discard for Red Eyes Dark Dragoon. And then we will go ahead and activate Silent Boots, and Silent Boots will go ahead and get search for Fog Blade. So just off it's basically a 1-card combo, because it's a 0.5 plus 0.5, any Gouki monster plus any warrior extender. We have gone plus 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. We've gone plus 7 off that interaction, along with having 3 negates, 3 monster negates, well 4 monster negates with our Fog Blade, 1 entire graveyard lockout, and 1 Omni negate. So I would count that as 3. Now I would really count that as 4, 5, 6 negates, just off 2 cards, and those 2 cards don't even have to be specific. And on our opponent's turn, we can just turn that into a Link Rebo to go into maybe further plays. This deck is just super consistent, and you should definitely try it out. It's fun too, especially at a rogue level, and this deck can definitely maybe steal a couple of tops. So that's the deck. That's the video. I hope you enjoyed it. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell, as it really does help the channel. And I guess I'll see you next time. Goodbye.